Welcome to Chaska High School. Ryan Paul, Eric Krauscher here with you tonight on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network, brought to you by Unrestricted Marketing. Appreciate you tuning in with us tonight, Eric. It's great to have you here. Finally, almost 2 weeks later, we're back here at Chaska High School for some section basketball.
Yeah, it feels like, it's been a while since we covered a game together, but it was a nice pause for both teams, and I'm sure, 3 games and, 2 weeks to make state here. Maybe that break will help Chaska.
First game of our doubleheader tonight is the boys contest. The 12-3 Chaska Hawks, seeded number 3 in Section 2-4A, host the number 6 Minnetonka Skippers, who come in at 6-11. Chaska beat Minnetonka handily earlier this season, just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, we covered that game together, and obviously the biggest takeaway from that game was inside. Chaska did whatever they wanted against Minnetonka's inside game.
Chaska coming in at 12-3. They have a full lineup tonight. Jacoby Lyles missed a few games earlier. He missed the first game of the season between these two teams, but Brady Nicholson had a career high in that one, 29 points.
Yeah, and Brady did anything he wanted pretty much, especially in that second half. If you look back at that game, though, I think he hit 3 or 4 threes. I think he had 3 threes, 1 on the line. That was the point differential that we had with Saar. But yeah, he had a great game, and then you add in, I think Spencer Getz had about 20 in that game too. So, if you're Chaska, why not go there early and see if that's still there?
Well, Minnetonka obviously defended the Chaska guards well. Luke Strazzani had 9 points, and Jack Frick had just 5. So both of the Chaska guards under 10 points, and both Spencer Getz and Brady Nicholson over 20.
Yeah, and I think some of that is you look at what Minnetonka's guards did. They were held to lower games, and so maybe the focus was, hey, if our bigs can beat their bigs, and our our guards can handle their guards, we're going to be in great shape, and that's kind of how it played out in the first matchup.
Chaska obviously coming off of the cancellation of their final 3 games, Eden Prairie, Wayzata, and Minnehaha Academy, Eric. That was not related to directly Chaska having a case of COVID. More so opponents opting out because of the rising numbers in Carver County.
Yeah, and it wasn't just Chaska's programs. There was Holy Family programs, Chanhassen programs, that lost games. They were all, I think I talked to Cullen Bond from Chanhassen High School, and he was like, Eric, I tried like 15 girls teams to try to get our girls another game, and he couldn't find one. So, it was one of those things that, teams weighed another game versus, what is perceived as an outbreak in Carver County.
Obviously, you look at those 3 teams that Chaska is going to play, all teams that, have state tournament hopes.
Yeah.
So those are 3 teams that obviously don't want to be put out because of COVID.
Correct.
Same can't be said for the girls. They were canceled their last week of the regular season because they did have a positive COVID case. But, Eric, now we're back here playing Chaska basketball. Girls game coming up right after this one. What can you expect to see?
Yeah,
number 1 versus number 8.
Yeah, they haven't played in 2 weeks, and they haven't practiced either. So I think they maybe got into practice yesterday. So, it's a Bloomington Jefferson team they've handled very well. So that's why you get the number 1 seed, right? You go 12-0. So when you come back, you can work the kinks out before, a Shakopee Prior Lake matchup on Friday.
It'll be Eric and I for this one, and then Blake Herring will join us for the girls game coming up right after this one. Come right back to watchchbn.com. We'll be right back with more and tip-off between the Hawks and the Skippers after this. And we're ready to tip things off from Chaska High School. It's the number 3 Chaska Hawks and the number 6 Minnetonka Skippers in a 2-4A quarterfinal. Luke Strazzani wins the opening tip for the Chaska Hawks in their all-black uniforms. And Eric, we're underway here. 1 year after the cancellations first started, we're playing basketball.
Yeah, and you remember that section final game. It was no fans. We got the game. We were going to call it. You did all the prep work, and then the game didn't happen.
Fawcett has it on the wing, dishes it out for Getz, finding it back to Strazzani. Strazzani for a 3. That one's off. Rebound is loose, grabbed by the Skippers. You're right, Eric. That Minnetonka, or that Eden Prairie versus Shakopee game was scheduled, and then at the last minute was canceled. We were already packed up and to go over to Eden Prairie High School to broadcast that game, but it was canceled at the last minute due to, obviously, the last March's COVID restrictions being put in place. Under a minute in here, and Chaska goes empty on their first possession. Minnetonka's Andy Stefanowicz, the talented freshman. He's been impressive so far this year, Eric.
Yeah, and I was watching some clips the other night from their last game, and he's been really good from the outside. But man, I saw him hit some floaters in the lane on the drive. That's a big part of his game now.
Jalen Kane, the bucket scorer, to get Minnetonka in the scorebook here, and the Skippers lead Chaska right off the bat. Luke Strazzani going to try his hand from the other wing. This one's just off the front iron and out. Well, Minnetonka forcing 2 empty possessions on Chaska early. Eric, Chaska's guards, as we mentioned in the pregame, struggled in the first meeting.
Yeah, and you look at especially that second shot, and that was 3 or 4 feet behind the line early in the possession, and so you can almost sense Coach Coleman saying, okay, the first one's fine. The second one, you got to work that ball down every time.
Near side, Stefanowicz brings it out to the top off for Vlad Chibutaru. And we get a kicked ball violation. Baseline inbound coming. 16-12 to go.
I mean, I think, I talked about this in the last game. When your 2 bigs had 49 points, the ball's got to go down there almost every time, and then it opens up everything on the outside for you.
Chibutaru driving into the post, dishes it outside now into the corner where it swung back around for Jalen Kane. Kane did have a season low 8 against Chaska in the first meeting. Skippers' only double-digit scorer back earlier in February was Vlad Chibutaru with 10. He's coming off a 17-point performance just across town at Chanhassen last week, though.
And if you remember, I think he had 5 in the first 2 possessions, and then he was held the rest of the game.
Chibutaru straight away for a triple. Minnetonka up 5-0.
There you go. Yeah, just like last time. He came out, hit a 3. Same pattern. You can tell we're playoff intensity here on the Minnetonka bench.
These two teams last met in sections 2 years ago in 2018. Check that, 3 years ago in 2018. Nicholson in the post, up with it, dribbles in and out, gets there for the offensive rebound. They say it last touched Minnetonka. To finish that point, Chaska and Minnetonka last met in the playoffs March 7th, 2018. Chaska won 63-56, and that was a good game, Eric. I remember we were here for that.
Yeah, very tight game, one possession type thing, and again, it's the playoffs. Nobody wants to have their season end tonight, and so you're going to get the best every night from everybody.
Frick near side. He had a season low 5 against Minnetonka in the first meeting. His baseline J is off, and Spencer Getz tapped the ball out of bounds. Skippers with a chance to pull it even further out of Chaska's reach. It's 5-0 early.
Yeah, and Chaska here, they got to get a stop. They feed off their defense, and so, that can maybe get that first bucket in transition would be helpful.
Across the midcourt stripe come the Skippers. Jalen Kane, just a sophomore, driving through. He's hacked, comes down with the ball. No whistle, though. Should have been something.
Got to call jump ball there.
Coming through Chaska unscathed. Fossen outside, straight away. Nicholson, this three is off to the left. Chaska shooting struggles so far. Their week off, Eric, is kind of showing here early.
Yeah, and you look at their playoff, records over the last 5-6 years, and they've really started slow in a lot of these quarterfinal games for some reason.
Chibutaru up to 5 after his elbow jumper sinks. 14-15 to go, and the Skippers have a 7-0 lead. Chaska yet to get on the board. A blocking call here against the sophomore Jalen Kane.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost a good stop of the whistle for Chaska. Just to kind of set themselves up here a little bit and see what they want to do.
First foul of the game comes with 14-10 to go. Good flow to this one so far. Frick with a hand in his face, buries it. Jack Frick starts things out for Chaska with a triple from a long range.
I'm not sure exactly that was the play, but, when it goes, it goes.
First score comes from the Chaska senior, who averages 11.7. Here's an elbow jumper from the freshman Stefanowicz. He draws contact on the way up and will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget, Minnetonka did end up with only 6 wins on the season. 2 of them were against Hopkins, a top 5 team for most of the season, number 1 to begin the year. So, obviously Minnetonka has the ability to win big games. It's just been that consistency part. A lot of their points have come from the outside and through their guards, and they haven't had as much from down low. So, it's something that, hey, if your guards go off, why not? Why can't they win?
Second free throw from Stefanowicz is in and out, so 1 for 2 at the stripe for the freshman. And here come the Hawks. Near side, guard swinging it around, 13:39 to go. Streaking through is Strazzani up off the window. It can't fall, though. Strazzani wanted a foul call. He thought there was some contact from Kane. We play on, though. Skippers coming in 6-11 off a win against Chanhassen earlier. Bryce Tesdall in his second year out of Bemidji State, Derek, the Bemidji State class of 2012 graduate. Bryce Tesdall has his Skippers here looking good with a strong future.
Ooh, 2012. Wasn't even a decade ago.
Fossen called for a travel. They say he stepped down before he put it on the deck. And it's a turnover. We'll give the Minnetonka the ball back up 5.
Yeah, I mean, you can, again, like I said a little bit ago, you can feel the intensity from the Minnetonka side. They've been very loud when they're on defense, and the Chaska players are now standing and trying to replicate that when they're on defense.
Chaska's only points come from Jack Frick just a few minutes ago, straightaway 3. Chibutaru has 5 for Minnetonka.
And I noticed that Getz is now covering him after early possessions of Frick on him.
Vlad Chibutaru had a 10-point performance in the first game. He has 8 points over 20. He's driving through contact, thought he was hit, no whistle though, and he's upset behind the play. Hawks continue down low though. Strazzani on the perimeter. Nicholson finds himself open. He's picked up by Chibutaru though, and now Chibutaru is very upset. Wow.
He's
the
saying,
junior Vlad Chibutaru,
he's saying I get hit a lot more over there. Yeah, I mean, and that's almost a frustration foul, right? You don't get the call, and then you come back. I mean, there was definitely some contact on the other end, but
You look on the unrestricted marketing replay here, and looks like some limited contact at the other end. Frick from the corner trying his hand again. Zach Schaefer, who just checked into the game, responsible for the offensive rebound. Getz has it in his hands now, and they reset out for Schaefer. Jacoby Lyles takes the baseline. Lyles to the hole. Count it. Minnetonka faithful say he pushed off. It looked like there was a little extension, but instead it's an and one for Jacoby Lyles.
Yeah, I mean, he's also going against the point guard there, so, I mean, it's not going to take much to get a freshman, the size of Lyles. So, yeah, I mean, there was definitely some contact there again, but we play on.
Jacoby Lyles had a season and career high 14 on opening night against Cooper. Since then, he's been consistent. Missed last game against the Skippers, though, as Andy Stefanovich exits. Chaska won the last one. We've alluded to earlier. 73-47 was a 7-point game at halftime, though, Eric.
Yep.
Chaska ran away with it in the second half, outscoring Minnetonka 41-22 in the final 18.
They couldn't miss. I mean, they were so on fire in that second half. And
Strazani called for a travel. That was a quick whistle. Sideline inbound coming from Minnetonka in the backcourt.
Yeah, I mean, some of those travelings is just you get too excited. You know, Luke saw wide open baseline. You knew all you had to do was give a head fake, and he was gone.
Cam Wall will check in for the first time tonight, the 6-foot junior. And we have a whistle here, or a stoppage here. Looks like we're gonna have the Chaska bench step back. 11:45 to go. Eric Chaska's pulled it back within 2. Frick and Lyles, a pair of 3-point plays.
Yeah, and I think key to that last bucket was Zach Schaefer getting the hustle play. Spencer Getz ended up with the rebound, and they were able to get 3 points out of that.
Schaefer to Frick in the near corner. Frick entry pass for Lyles, who's double teamed. He gets rid of it though. Frick wide open, wing 3, and it's good. Jack Frick, his second triple of the evening, and Hawks have their first lead.
That was, it's his textbook right there. When they know they have to double down and somebody's going to be wide open, and Jack Frick even had time to kind of set himself and, just buried the 3.
Here's what Chaska prides himself on: momentum, defense. Driving in Cohen Kellogg, the junior, and for the first time, here's Jalen Kane, the sophomore. He picks up outside, kick it into the corner for Jordan Kane for 3, and it's good. The freshman's on the board, Eric. We knew Jordan Kane was going to see some serious minutes coming down the stretch of the season. He didn't play a lot in the first half of the season on the varsity team, but now he's played in every game in March for Bryce Tesdall.
Yeah, I mean, I think he gives seniors a chance, and obviously he's a really special talent, and he had a great JV season, and he's seen extended minutes the last couple weeks, and he's, I think, the 3rd guy off the bench here today for Minnetonka.
Frick off a screen, Getz driving off the glass, no good. Rebound winds up into the hands of Lyles on the paint. He goes back up strong and cashes in for 2.
Yeah, it's great minutes so far for Lyles. He's got 5 points off the bench. He's also got the assist to Frick, and there was big minutes for Getz and Nicholson without him the first meeting, and just adding his size and strength is really going to help Chaska tonight.
Jalen Kane, the 6'1 sophomore, not to be confused with Jordan Kane, who are both on the floor right now. Kellogg outside, picked up by Schaefer. Here's Jordan Kane, the freshman. Played in just 6 games this year, scored in just 6 games this year, rather. Dernberger rolling off his screen. Back into the corner. Minnetonka struggling to get anything inside the arc here as we cross under 9:30. Jalen Kane to the hole for 2.
Yeah, very, very nice take for him. And, Spencer Getz can't guard them all, and so that time he was with Jordan Kane, the freshman. And I think Caden recognized it, Jalen Kane.
Jordan Kane picks up a blocking foul as Cam Wall got around him. Chaska with some speed on the floor right now. They'll make some changes and bring on Brady Nicholson and Luke Strazani, but productive minutes from Spencer Getz so far, but Jacoby Lyles has really been showing down low what he can do against this Minnetonka team after missing the first game.
Yeah, and there was a couple possessions ago, he slashed really, really well on Kane, and, it's so important that, for the guy coming off the pick to get that extra step.
Frick. Game high 6 so far for Chaska. Strazani picks up in the corner, back up top for Frick. Wide open through the paint. Brady Nicholson driving through. Could have gone up with it. Elected to go up and under though. Misses. Back outside. Luke Strazani going to try for 3. This one's off. He's 0 for 3 so far tonight. Zach Schaefer, the offensive rebound though. Throws it back out near the timeline, and it's on the floor. Vlad Chibutaru has it, and it's a timeout called by Minnetonka. Crazy 15 seconds of basketball there. Chaska had a couple offensive rebounds, went into the backcourt, and Vlad Chibutaru fell on it. It's our first timeout of the night here on the Unrestricted Marketing Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Will step aside. Back from Chaska, Eric. It's a 2-point lead for Minnetonka and a back and forth half so far. The Skippers have the advantage by 2 after getting out to a quick 7-0 start.
Yeah, I mean, Chaska was able to get back in the game with a couple Jack Frick 3-pointers. Jacoby Lyles got the other 5 points. But they've missed some bunnies underneath. Nicholson just missed an easy one. Getz has missed a free, a layup. So it's about converting down low. Again, every bucket they make is down low is going to end up giving them more space on the outside.
8:51 to play. Stefanowicz driving through. Straightaway 3 from Chase McPherson, catches nothing but air, and it goes Chaska's way. So Zach Schaefer will bring the ball up for the Hawks here. Dana Coleman in his 14th year at the helm for Chaska. Check that, his 16th year at the helm. Has his Hawks team with just 3 losses to this point. 3 quality losses, Eric, nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, and I always love that about Dana. Is he schedules some great competition, and I'm guaranteed this team would have loved to have seen YZ and Minnetonka this week.
Illegal screen called on Lyles in the corner. With 8:09 left.
We're 10 minutes in, and Chaska still hasn't taken a breath, and they just seem like they're a little out of sorts because they're just not, it's like they're thinking, okay, this is a bigger moment than it really needs to be right now, and they just need to settle down. It's a 2-point game.
They haven't played in over a week. Obviously, the unfortunate scenario of teams opting out last week in the final week of the regular season due to the rising number of COVID cases in the county. Chibutaru steps back, can't connect on that strong rebound from Brady Nicholson, and even draws the foul on Chase McPherson.
Yeah, it's a great strong rebound by Brady there. I mean, I love when Brady's going up there and using his big frame and grabbing those balls with authority. And if you saw it, he didn't keep it down by his waist. He brought it up right away, and that created the foul.
7:47 to go. Ryan Paul, Eric Krauscher with you here on the Unrestricted Marketing Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. First of 2 games here tonight. I'll be joined by Blake Herring at about 7 p.m. right after this one for the girls' game. Zach Schaefer trying his hand at a long one. Took a couple bounces, but it finally trickled out. Stefanowicz coming back down for the Skippers. As I was saying, the number 1 ranked Chaska Hawks girls team takes on Bloomington Jefferson immediately following the conclusion of our game. Stefanowicz pulls up, no good with the right, and a push called against Minnetonka's number 33, Vince Brown. So that's 2 possessions in a row that Brady Nicholson has drawn fouls on rebounds.
That one just looked like they were both kind of going for the ball. The other one was kind of a, grabbing around the waist type thing, but tough call on Vince Brown.
Only game for Minnetonka that was canceled this year was a March 12th contest, so last week against St. Louis Park. That was Friday.
And that was a COVID. They had St. Louis Park, which is now shut down, so that was the reason for that.
So St. Louis Park and Hopkins, two prominent teams in Class 4A that we know of that have been shut down. Obviously, there's the unfortunate scenario that we're going to see more of them, and we know that, or we're anticipating that, but we can just do nothing but hope that these teams are able to finish out their season, and then obviously the unique situation with the state tournament coming up, which these teams are battling for a chance to continue their journey to that tonight. Shibutaru from the high post, no good. Strong rebound from Kane, though. Ball's out of bounds, and we don't have a signal yet, and it's going to go to Chaska's ball. Chaska's way.
There we go. Now we got a signal. Well, I think from my eyes, Strazanti got a tip, and then Kane dribbled it one more time, and it just happened to be out of bounds.
Strazanti, 2 points tonight. Quiet night so far. Nicholson trying underneath. Minnetonka fans want to hook and hold. Nothing down there, though. Nicholson loses it out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Minnetonka.
Once Brady gets that first one, I honestly feel like the floodgates are going to open a little bit. You know, he's been in great positions to score and
gets through contact. Yet another no call on the block. Jacoby Lyles had a strong start to this game with 5 points. He sits here, though, with 6:10 to go in the first half. Near side, Kane. Back up top for Vince Brown, who hands back off to Kane. Kane, 17.6 per night in the regular season. He drives in and draws contact, and the score. Looks like they're going to get gets. So 2 and a foul for Jalen Kane.
Yeah, it was
He's up to 6.
It's a really nice play. You know, Kane comes off 2 screens. First was Brown, and then Chibutario came with the second screen, and you know, Kane noticed it, went right to the hoop.
Under 6, the Kane free throw is no good, so the and one unsuccessful. Chaska coming back down 2 here with 5:47 left. Nicholson finding Strazanti down low, through a couple of holds, and he finds the bottom of the cup for 2. 15 tie here.
It's crazy when shots like that go, and you know, some of the easy ones they don't, and that was an impressive finish by Luke Strazanti.
Rolling off, Brown up with it, in and out. This is going to be off of Minnetonka, Chaska ball.
Yeah, it was a great look by Brown, and you know, almost if you don't take any shots for a while, the defense forgets that, you know, and so it was a great look by Brown, just didn't go. Look
around to section 248 tonight, Eric. The other 3 games going on: Shakopee versus Chanhassen, the 1 versus the 8 happening over at Shakopee. Edina and Jefferson, the 4-5 matchup, and then the game on Chaska's and Minnetonka's side of the bracket, Eden Prairie Prior Lake, which is, they're all going on right now. 5 p.m. starts here for boys basketball. Frick from the wing. Good, his second 3 of the night.
Minus Jefferson and Edina. They are starting at 7 because there was no other game at Edina.
Okay.
Turns out it makes it easier for parents. Now, judging by today's crowd, it's not that tough for everyone to get here, but it makes it a little easier if we can just go at 7. But I wouldn't be surprised if any of the 4 lower seeded teams won.
Yeah.
I mean, that's even Chanhassen. They've been very close with a lot of good teams. It's just about finishing the last 5 minutes.
Well, it's funny when here's Kane through the hole, acrobatic shot for 2. We spoke on the phone, what was it, this weekend on Saturday or Sunday, and you know, that was kind of what we talked about, was that this section could go anywhere this year.
Absolutely,
I mean, top to bottom, these teams could all beat each other. Nicholson takes the entry pass. He drives into the corner, though. Getz was open down low. Fossen elects to go back into the corner for Nicholson. Nicholson's held. Minnetonka fans want to travel. You can't travel if you don't have the ball. With 4:10 to go, the Skippers come away with the basketball. Kane through the paint. Up with it. Blocked by Strazanti. Strazanti on the floor. Timeout, Dana Coleman. With 4:01 to go, it's a timeout for Dana Coleman. This is Hawks basketball on CHBN, presented by Unrestricted Marketing. And we return from Chaska High School. It's a 1-point lead, Eric, in the 3-6 matchup here in boys 2-4A. Chaska hosting Minnetonka. Chaska handled Minnetonka earlier this year, but it took the second half for them to really pull apart.
Yeah, and I think nobody expected this game to be, whatever you said, 26-point difference this time. Minnetonka's season's on the line now. That was a Saturday afternoon game. So the difference so far for Minnetonka has been Jalen Kane, and he's done a great job. And what, 8 points?
Yep. Wall out of the timeout. Each team's called one so far tonight. Here's Frick taking the baseline. Lyles is wide open in the corner. His three is good. Jacoby Lyles up to 8 on the night. He hasn't missed so far, 21-17 Chaska.
Yeah, he's been a huge bonus off the bench tonight.
Push, they're gonna get Wall for driving number 1 Stefanowicz through. 3:33 to go here before halftime. Do want to remind you immediately after this game as Chibutaru jacks up a 3. Immediately following this game, the girls will host Jefferson. Myself and Blake Herring will have the call for that. It will be a separate YouTube live stream, so you'll have to close out, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll have to close out this window and open up the girls game. You can find both of them on watchchbn.com as well as all of our games from this season and the previous 5 seasons. WatchCHBN.com. 3 minutes to go here. First half in the first round of the 2-4A playoffs. Lyles going at it with Durenberger down low. Here's Strazzani who takes the baseline. Behind the back, he finds Frick. Frick going to try to continue his hot shooting night. This one's off by a ways, though, and it goes out of bounds. The ball back to Minnetonka.
Too far, Mr. Paul. He really had to launch that one, and turns out he launched it about 1 foot to the right of the hoop. That was good defense, though. That possession right there. And Chase McPherson really cut off that drive and didn't let Scherzanti do anything there.
We'll try to get you some out-of-town scores here at halftime. We're having some technical difficulties pulling up the live streams of those games, but we will get you out-of-town scores coming out of the halftime break here in 2 and change. Underneath, Vince Brown scores for his first points of the night.
Yeah, and right off the bench, he asserts himself just like when right after he left. So right before he left, I should say.
Wall, double team. Here's Getz in the corner. Takes the baseline, pivots on the block. Strazzani now out straight away. Drives through the paint. He's hacked and gets it to drop. How's that for a member's bounce? Luke Strazzani with the submarine shot for 2 and 1.
When your legs go down to your knees, I mean, you have the ability to do that.
When your arms go down to your knees.
Yeah.
Your legs do go down to your knees.
Oh man, that's why I'm a newspaper writer, not a.
I had to call you out on that one.
When your arms go down to your knees. I mean, he's just so long and lanky, and he just, there's guys that can move their bodies like that, and then there's guys like me who barely can lift their leg up to their waist. Barely.
Strazzani completes the 3-point play. Hawks are up 5 now with 2 and change to go here in the first half.
Big 2 minutes here for both teams here.
Jordan Kane, the freshman. Far side for Cone Kellogg. He's picked up by Frick. Minnetonka, a young team. They turn it over here. Spencer gets credited with the steal. Under 2 to play, and Chaska has a chance to pull ahead by more. Strazzani through contact, another one, no. He'll get 2 free throws, though. He bumped into Vince Brown, rather.
I think it's Cohen Kellogg, actually.
Oh, you're right, yep. Cohen Kellogg was the one who is called for the foul, and Luke Strazzani now back to the free throw line on a second possession.
I mean, that's Luke's game, right? I mean, he's going to lead the team in free throws 2 of the last, 3 years, I bet, and he just, he knows how to get to the hoop. And, I just think that's such an important part of his game.
1:45 to go. Strazzani up to 8 with the first free throw. Chance to make it a game-high 9 with this one.
Kobe Lyle says, I'm taking Kane. All right. He looked around and he goes, well, Brady's taking the other big. There's he's the next biggest guy. The rest of them are freshmen, Cohen, Kellogg, and Kane. So Lyles will end up taking the freshman Jordan Kane.
6'6" and 6'5" are the two tallest guys in the Minnetonka roster. And other than that, they're pretty shallow. Luke Strazani swats Stefanowicz out of bounds. That was a big-time block.
Well, Chaska gets the ball. They're going to have a major advantage in the post.
Stefanowicz in the corner, picked up by the shifty Zach Schaefer. 1:23 and ticking here in the first half. Kellogg, hesitation. Double team though into the corner. Jordan Kane had one from here earlier. This one's no good though. Ball's loose. Zach Schaefer's finally able to corral it for Chaska. 69 seconds left here first half. 26-19 the score. Chaska with the advantage. Strazani gets it across the timeline. He's picked up by Jordan Kane. Finds it into the corner. Lyles.
They're not going to shoot.
49 seconds left. Chaska will presumably use all of it. We'll see though. Looks like they have a set here. Bryce Tesdall frustrated with the defensive effort, and there's a whistle. Offensive foul. It's an illegal screen on Jacoby Lyles at the top of the key. Looks like he might have got Jordan Kane in the midsection, and it goes against Chaska and negates any opportunity at a last second shot for them.
I mean, I was watching. It was pretty. He got him with the arm. As I say, his feet weren't moving, but.
34 seconds left now, and the Skippers have a chance to pull it to a manageable distance into the halftime break. Stefanowicz picked up by Schaefer outside. 7-point deficit right now for Minnetonka. Stefanowicz back outside, 10 to play. Stefanowicz picked up by Schaefer once again. Lyles cuts down Kane. Stefanowicz pulls up awkwardly at the horn. It's off. And we go to halftime with the score 26-19. The Chaska Hawks and the number 3 seeded have 26 points on Minnetonka's 19.
Well, I mean, if you're only going to score 26 and a half, which is not, that's kind of common for Chaska. Holding the team to 19 is all right. So, it's a good, they fell behind early. They rebounded with some threes. But here's the thing. Second half, got to dominate more in that paint. They really didn't do enough in there.
Strazani and Frick both have 9 to lead the Hawks. Jalen Kane has a team high 8. We'll step aside momentarily here and bring you back after halftime with some updates from around town. This is Chaska Hawks basketball presented by Unrestricted Marketing on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Back from Chaska High School, just about ready to get things underway here in the second half. A 26-19 advantage for Chaska on Minnetonka here, Eric, in the boys game. A slow start for the Hawks, but they come out on top after 18 minutes.
Yeah, and I think it was just that. You know, they got out to a slow start, and, you know, they were able to pick it up a little bit with some outside shots. And, you know, I really look for, you know, talking to the halftime to maybe get a little more inside game.
Chaska was led by Luke Strazzani and Jack Frick, both with 9, and Jalen Kane had 8 for Minnetonka. We got about 30 seconds here until we get going underway in the second half. We'll be right back on the Unrestricted Marketing Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Underway in the second half. Chaska and Minnetonka, the skippers, start out with the ball here on the Unrestricted Marketing Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Chibutaru wide away for 3, fouled by Spencer Getz on the way up. Didn't get a chance to say, when it comes to branding, marketing, digital technology, warehouse, and fulfillment solutions, think Unrestricted Marketing. A growth agency since 2004, Unrestricted Marketing is driven to deliver unparalleled, unabashed, and an unbelievable experience. Call 952-474-2235 or visit unrestrictedmktg.com. Eric, Vlad Chibutaru, just 14 seconds in, has a chance for a couple of points to pull Minnetonka back with him.
Yeah, that was a design play there out of the half and get him open. And Getz just got the wrist a little bit, and Chibutaru with all 3 free throws, and all of a sudden, 4-point game.
Nicholson at the free throw line, hands off for Strazzani, who streaks through. Strazzani up off the glass. Dana Coleman wants a call for contact. Nothing there, though. 30 seconds in, Minnetonka within 4, and a chance to pull it closer. Want to remind you, immediately following the conclusion of this game, the girls matchup between number 1 Chaska and number 8 Bloomington Jefferson will air on WatchCHBN.com. You will have to change live streams, though, if you are watching on YouTube, so just be aware of that. At the conclusion of our live stream, just head back to WatchCHBN.com. Right away, Vince Brown makes it a 1-point game with a triple.
Yeah, I mean, he's been out there multiple times, and, you know, he hasn't looked to shoot, and yeah, well, there's another thing that Chaska's got to deal with.
After just 4 points in the earlier matchup this year, he's got 5 already tonight. Nicholson through contact once again. Unsuccessful on that try. Minnetonka with all the momentum here early in the second half. Chibutaru traveling through. It looks like he walked, and he did.
Hey, you know, I mean, if you're a guy like Vince Brown, you say, man, that Nicholson kid, you know, had a field day with me last time, and, you know, it wasn't just him. And so we, you know, it's a challenge, right? I'm gonna be better this time.
A brief stoppage before we get the ball in play, and
so we looked at the scores during halftime. This is definitely
right.
the closest to 3 thus far.
Thanks for the reminder. Minnetonka and Chaska, obviously this one, as we have a whistle, but around the section, Shakopee and Chan. Shakopee with a handle on Chan Hassan, 35-14 at the break. And then the other one going on right now is Eden Prairie and Prior Lake. A 14-point lead for Eden Prairie at the half, 38-24. So 2 much higher scoring games than ours. But all of these seeds holding true so far right now, Eric. Obviously, Edina and Jefferson will play at 7 o'clock tonight over at Edina.
Yeah, I mean, Minnetonka started the first half off quickly, and now they're doing the second half off quickly. So
Chaska with the 73-47 7-point victory in the earlier matchup in the regular season. It was only a 7-point game at halftime, but they ended up outscoring the Skippers 41-22 in the second half. So we'll see if there's more of the same here in the second half of this section game. I anticipate it being much closer. Vince Brown trying his hot hand again, no good. Minnetonka vacates and allows Chaska and Tennessee Fawson to get the rebound. Strazani to the hole, no good. Tried to take it himself, but couldn't get it to drop. 1-point lead for Chaska still, but Minnetonka has a chance to grab the advantage here.
Again, it's just the same thing as the first half. Chaska is just trying to do too much individually. You got to work the offense a little bit. Get those easy shots.
McPherson hands off for Chibutaru. Chibutaru with a hand in his face, misses badly. Rebound by Nicholson, who resets out to Strazanti now. 15:05 to go, about 3 minutes into the second half. Frick once again trying. Here he hands off for Strazani in the corner, no good. Offensive rebound by Getz though. Now Nicholson steps in, tries a long one, that's off. Hawks go down for the rebound, but Chibutaru eventually snags it from Minnetonka.
This is always the concern with Chaska. Sometimes they live by the three, die by the three, and outside of Jack Frick, I don't think anybody's hit a three. No, Lyle's hit one. Lyle's hit one.
One corner three. Frick called for his first foul, holding Jalen Kane on the way up. Kane, the team's leading scorer, who had a team-high 8 in the first half. His first points of the second half coming here from the free throw line. Chaska held him to a season-low 8 in the first matchup, but he's already over that mark here. And it's a tie game for now. Second free throw from Kane unsuccessful. Getz now outside, hands back off, Strazanti with it. Double team, dumping it back down to Getz. Getz for two.
Yeah, that was important. I was just thinking that the last trip, he was sitting on 0, and you ain't gonna find too many games over the last couple of years where Spencer Getz scores 0 and Chaska wins. So it's important to get him some looks inside.
First points is Eric set for the Chaska senior tonight. That is important after a 20-point night in the earlier matchup. Kane for 3. This one's short, rebound by Strazanti. Frick elects against the corner 3, takes it on the baseline for 2, and back-to-back possessions with buckets for Chaska, and they're back up 4. Getz with a near strip down low. Kane, he's hacked in the bucket. Frick says he was straight up. Kane got it to fall though, and we'll have a chance for a 3-point old-fashioned to play.
Yeah, and fouls are starting to add up here. Already 4 on Chaska, 0 on Minnetonka, so we're only 4 minutes and 18 seconds in.
Appreciate you tuning in here tonight from Chaska High School. This is the boys 2-4A section quarterfinal, 1 of 4 going on tonight. Just underway in the second half. Ryan Paul, Eric Krauscher with you.
Slight schedule adjustment from years past. Usually
right.
Wednesday, Saturday, Thursday. This year we're going to be Tuesday, Friday, Thursday. Both for boys and girls.
And if you have just tuned in, the girls game will immediately follow our game. Blake Herring will join me as Eric scampers off to girls hockey across town. Frick with a hand in his face, no problem though. 4-point game as Jack Frick buries from the corner.
Yeah, he's got 4 threes now in the game.
Jordan Kane stripped by Getz. Here comes Chaska with a 3-on-1. Frick back pass to Strazani, who goes up acrobatically for 2.
Maybe not with the sad little bit behind the back pass, but it worked. And all of a sudden now Chaska's back to 6.
Hawks, after starting both the first and the second half with cold shooting, come out strong here in the latest couple of minutes. Kane taking over here in the second half for Minnetonka. Pulls him back to 4.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. You put Getz on him, and run the risk of, foul trouble and stuff, but they might have to.
Whistle before the shot, double whistle. We'll see what the call is.
be a defensive foul.
It
They
is.
was wondering if it was before the shot, and they both agree that it was on the drive.
Pull your mic a little closer to your mouth. There you go.
Keep pulling it away to take
I know.
photos. Sorry.
No, you're fine. It's just Nicholson, the and one for Chaska.
Well, that's big. Brady's first points, and converted that one, and now he's in for the three-point play. And you know, they immediately noticed that Brown went to the bench, and they went right to it. Unfortunately, Jacob Durenberger's not. You know, he's still 6'5", but he's just not as strong as Brown is, and Nicholson went to work there.
First points of the second half for Brady. First points of the night for Brady. And just finishes up at the line for three. (38-31), 12:30 to go here, second half. Outside, Minnetonka has it. Here's Kellogg stepping inside the paint, looking for an option, close to a 5-second count. Jordan Kane, the freshman, has it outside. 12 and change to go here. Minnetonka going young. Kellogg pulls up from three awkwardly. Zach Schaefer grabs the rebound on the miss. Gets back and forth with Schaefer. Now Strazanti gets involved.
They got a swinger. They got Lyles. Got a good matchup.
Holding before the shot called against Kellogg, I believe. It's either Kellogg or Durenberger. Durenberger is the guilty party. Baseline inbound for Chaska. Five-second violation. Schaefer couldn't get it in.
My replacement.
Blake Herring's in the house. You'll hear him on the girls matchup here coming up shortly after our game. Watch chbn.com. After the turnover for Chaska. 11.5 left, 7-point game. Kane driving through once again. He's got 8 in the second half.
Yeah, they're gonna have to do something a little different. They're on a man-to-man, and whoever's guarding them, I think they've tried Frick and Strazani. He's had an extra step on them.
Whistle once again as the pass goes away. A push called against Minnetonka.
They had 0 fouls through the first 4 minutes, and now they'll have 4 in the next 2. I mean, it just got tight. You know, all of a sudden,
Right.
that's not a foul right there. 30 feet away from the basket, we don't need to call a little touch foul.
Strazani quick off the inbound, and it's a palming violation.
Losing our pace of the game here. You know, it's just.
Brown will quickly check back in, so Durenberger, after a few minutes without any points, will head back to the bench for Bryce Tesdall. Brown with some size will re-enter for the Skippers. Hard screen set there. Shibutaru outside. He's been quiet so far, just 8 points to this point. Kane outside. He's had a strong night, loses the ball out of bounds. Frick tried to toss it out of him, but he was on the line. So it's Minnetonka ball underneath.
It's, you know, the size differences in these two teams makes for some really interesting matchups. You got Lyles, you know, big kid guarding Shibutaro on this end. You know, he's a quick release shooter, so that's going to be a challenge for Lyles.
Pull up for Kellogg. Fouled on the way up. 2 free throws coming for the Minnetonka junior. We've called his name a fair amount tonight, Eric. He's kind of a underviewed guy on this roster, just 5.5 points. Played in all 16 games played in 16 games for Minnetonka. He only had 7 in the first matchup, but he's played quite a few minutes here tonight for Bryce Tesdahl.
Yeah, and he played a lot more even last year, starting guard for them. He's more of that run the offense type of guy. Adds in a shot here or there, but just lightning quick kind of guy.
Second free throw no good, but a good box out by Brown to tie the game.
That's the second time where he's gotten an extra step. It almost feels like it's a little early, but he's timing it really well.
Checked out, it's a 2-point game. Peyton Sanders beat me to it on the scoreboard down there. Strozani rolling off a screen, and unsuspecting Lyles fumbled the ball. Minnetonka and Kane come down. Here's Kellogg. He's stopped up short by Schaefer though. Kane fading away, no good, and Chaska able to hang on to the lead after the Minnetonka transition goes unsuccessful. Yeah. Under 10 to play.
Chaska needs to slow it down and figure out what they're doing here. A lot of chaotic turnovers.
Offensive foul against Jacoby Lyles. Vlad Chibutaru stood in and took the charge. That's the last thing Chaska needed right now. It was a momentum killer of any kind.
It's been just swings in this game, right? And
good call.
Chaska hasn't had a point in probably 2 or 3 minutes, and stuck on 38 here.
2-point game. Minnetonka chance to tie or take the lead. Brown outside to Kane. Kane with a game high 16. Kellogg on the baseline finds it off. Check that. It's McPherson in the paint. Air ball's a 5-footer, and Nicholson comes away with the rebound. Frick in the corner, vacates. Now gets on the post, gets up with the right, halfway down and out.
He just hasn't, he couldn't miss the first time on those little shots, and today those shots just are not dropping for him.
Gets with just 2 points. He went scoreless in the first half, had 20 in the first matchup back on February 27th. Push called. Oh no, they say it's on Minnetonka, illegal screen set. They say it's on Vince Brown, who set the illegal screen, and it'll give Chaska the ball underneath.
That's been an emphasis this year, is that moving screen, and I've seen it called more this year than any other. And they really are emphasizing that your feet are set and you're not moving at all while the contact is happening. But you're right, that was off ball, and I thought he was calling gets up top.
Great draw from Chaska, and they get Frick back on the board, 40-36. The Dana Coleman set works to perfection. Jack Frick's up to 16.
Yeah, and here's where Chaska really, they win games here with their defense at this point of the game, and let's see where they can get some separation.
Chibutaru streaks through. Stefanowicz in the corner. Haven't seen much of him in the second half. Skying for the rebound. Nicholson wins it away for Chaska. Trezani driving baseline to get up. That one falls. So Chaska on a run here, 42-36. Gets with his second bucket of the evening.
Thought maybe he was going to try to throw it down. Probably a good decision to lay it in.
Kane working against Frick. He's cut down there though. Now Chibutaru. Back to Kane in the near corner. Chaska fans are getting into it. Kane trying to shimmy around down low. Great defense from Getz, and it'll be a held ball. But a great hustle play from the Chaska senior Spencer Getz, and if Chaska needed a spark, that might just be it.
It's a good thing Spencer's gotten a few minutes on the bench, because he was running around because Chibutaru really can let it fly quick. They had to switch to a screen, and he goes to Kane, who's had a great half and was able to get a hand on it. Quick hands for the big guy.
See that great drop from Dana Coleman, and Chaska executing it to perfection on the last possession. Thanks to Unrestricted Marketing providing our production for tonight's game. Down low, Getz got underneath again. He beat Chase McPherson to the block.
Yeah, that was the same play, just kept running it. One more step, and might be a good time for a timeout.
And it is. Bryce Tesdahl wants to talk things over. 44-36 from Chaska High School when we return. 7:21 to play. 7:21 to go. Chaska on a run, 44-36 the score, an 8-point lead, one of Chaska's largest of the night. Here we go, out of the Bryce Tesdall timeout. Minnetonka, see what the discussion was in the huddle. Vince Brown has it on the near side. Back up top for Stefanowicz. Jalen Kane, been the star so far for the Skippers tonight. Only Minnetonka player in double figures, he has 16. Straight away, Stefanowicz trying a triple, no good. Chaska had nobody around down low, and Brady Nicholson grabs the rebound.
Yeah, and I like that because, you know, Stefanowicz hadn't made a shot. He hadn't taken many shots at all game, and he was kind of wide open from longer distance.
Stefanowicz, the freshman, his only point came in the first half from the free throw line. Nicholson spins around and gets 2, and it's a 10-point game. Now the largest lead of the night.
As I say, it's definitely a lot. There hasn't been double digits yet, so huge couple minutes right here.
Kane pulling up for 3, no good. Minnetonka's gone cold here in the latter minutes of the second half. Schaefer gets an entry pass down for Getz. He returns it to him. Brady Nicholson finds himself alone on the baseline, goes up with the left for 2. Chaska's up 12.
Yeah, that's huge. Great passing. They had good patience there, you know. Could have forced something, and they just worked. They've worked the offense the last 5, you know, possessions after 4 straight turnovers.
Kane working around. We have an update from Shakopee for you. It's a 50-25 Shakopee lead on Chanhassen midway through the second half. They have about 9 to play there, so a little bit behind us. But it is a lead for Shakopee on Chan in the other section game. And
Jacob Brown, another 3.
Brown with 8 points in the second half for a game total of 10.
Season high, too.
You're right. Vince Brown, rather. Had a previous season high 7 against Chan just the other night. So 2 season highs in a row for the Minnetonka senior. Jalen Kane fumbles in the paint, and we have a jump ball. Bryce Tesdall wanted to travel, but it's a jump ball to call, and Minnetonka will get a baseline inbound on the offensive end, down by 9. We will try to get you an update from Eden Prairie, where the other game on Chaska's side of the bracket is occurring.
You keep talking and I'll find something for you.
Durenberger outside. Stefanowicz, corner for Durenberger again. He's cut down to the baseline there. Kane outside. Durenberger in the paint, tries once again for Kane. Jack Frick comes out to defend, but he takes it right past him for 2. Kane's up to 18.
Yeah, Minnetonka doesn't want to go away here. Why would they, right?
Right. Seven-point game. In the first round of these section playoffs, a point that we did reach last year, but didn't get much further past this point. Section finals were canceled the day of.
Eden Prairie is up 59-34 with 7 to go.
Okay.
So.
Gets the runner for 2. So Chaska.
I think you can move Shakopee, the 1 seed, and Eden Prairie, the 2 seed ahead.
This one yet to be decided. Still a single-digit lead for Chaska. Chibutaru thought about it, finally went for it, couldn't connect.
That would have been a big one right there. Chaska just needs to work the offense here. There's nothing but a layup on this possession. There's no shot clock.
3:47 to go, so time ticking down. A 9-point lead for the Hawks. Winner will presumably get Eden Prairie at Eden Prairie on Friday night. A defensive foul called on the block. It's going to be Kane. Looks like Dana Coleman called a timeout.
There's a bunch of people on the court.
There's been quite a few double whistles tonight. And they do get a timeout, so Minnetonka will not be assessed a foul. It's Dana Coleman who calls timeout, and we will step aside, come back in 60 seconds. And back from Chaska, Eric. Let's look ahead to this girls' game that we have coming up in, about an hour. Chaska, the #1 seed, and they host Jefferson tonight, a team that struggled hard this year, and a team that Chaska beat handily in the first matchup.
Yeah, and I think for Chaska, it's just getting back to playing a game, and you're out for 2 weeks. There's only so much you can do to keep your your running in, and so for them, I feel bad for Jefferson, but they're gonna throw a lot of press. They're gonna work everything until they can because they need the work.
For a team that hasn't played since February 26th, I think was the last time Chaska was on the floor. The game at Wayzata, the biggest game of the year for them. They were obviously supposed to play Hopkins, which would have been a national game of the year. That game unfortunately was canceled, and they play here at home for the first time in over 2 weeks. Later tonight, Ryan, Paul, myself, and Blake Herring on the call for that one here on WatchCHBN.com. Chaska gonna pull this one out as long as they can. Gets to win up with it. Brady Nicholson, a big offensive rebound and one. Yeah. What a play for the Chaska team.
Yeah, and Brady's had a great second half. I mean, stats will say he's got 9, hopefully 10 here, but he's also just done a really good job, offensively setting picks. I loved his last score before this where he just kind of waited for the time and got a free layup.
You see on our unrestricted marketing instant replay the and one from Nicholson, and his free throw is no good, but more importantly though, Chaska's up 11. Under 3 to play. Minnetonka needs some momentum here.
I remember watching Brady against Minnetonka the last time, and his hair was all sweaty. So he was really into it, and that's again today.
Chaska had no Lyles last time. He's playing tonight, but Brady Nicholson, after that 29-point performance in the first game, he has 9 all in the second half here tonight. But it's a big 9 points from the Chaska junior. Schaefer on the far side. Now Luke Strazzani resets and tucks it in. 2:23 to go. Offensive foul. Luke Strazzani pushed off.
I don't know if he really pushed off or it was more just the arm making contact. Either way, it's a foul, right? Yeah. Minnetonka's going to need something in this possession. No, they can't have any more empty possessions.
Gets fighting through a screen. Stefanowicz in the corner. He's had a very quiet night, just 1 point.
Chaska's doing a really good job of closing out on their shooters from the outside. A lot of their points have come off the drive.
Air ball from the corner from the freshman, but Brown's there for the rebound. Timeout immediately after from Bryce Tesdahl. 1:54 reads the clock. It's a 9-point Chaska lead when we come back. Back in action, under 2 to play here from Chaska High School, 52-43. Eric, you're headed off to girls hockey after this. What's in store there?
Yeah, I mean, everything is ending at the same time this year, right? Usually girls hockey would be done with by now. You got it's going to be a great matchup, I think. Eden Prairie and Chaska Chanhassen, 3-6 game. Same scenario kind of as this boys basketball. Any of the top 6 teams probably could get to that championship. Chaska Chan is just, they've lost a bunch of 2-1, 3-2 type of games. And so, Eden Prairie's kind of had their number over the years, but maybe they'll sneak one. They had a strong senior class, Chaska Chan does. And that was at Consolation Champions at 12U. State Consolation Champions.
Schaefer foul as he crossed the timeline. Minnetonka thought they had a steal. Both referees called it, and we are in the 1-1. So bonus free throws coming up for the Chaska senior, Zach Schaefer. A guy who doesn't fill up the score sheet a lot, but he's definitely played some important minutes for Dana Coleman.
Yeah, I really like when he's out there. It moves Stazandi to the 2, and it opens some things up. And Zach's a feisty little guy. He gets in there and does a little bit of everything for this team.
Second free throw is good, so 2 for 2 on the bonus.
Huge 2 free throws right there.
And it's back to a double-digit lead for Chaska. Kane, who's had a strong second half with 10 points, dishes off for Stefanowicz. Check that, it was Chibutaru who tried for 3. As we have 90 seconds left here, Minnetonka down by 11. Gonna try to pull something out of the bag here. Steal for the Skippers, Stefanowicz. Driving in. 3 from McPherson's no good, and that looked more like a desperation 3 than anything.
Yeah, that probably wasn't the guy they wanted shooting. I don't think McPherson has any points, correct, and so, but you can't be choosers in that point, right? You gotta.
Minnetonka will foul. McPherson takes the hit on this one, and Nicholson will go to the free throw line. Jordan Kane will check back in. We saw him get some minutes in the first half, but didn't get much clock here in the latest 17 minutes, and he comes back in here as a big body down low for Bryce Tesdahl.
Yeah, he got that 3 early on. He took another 3 here, I believe, in this half, but he's a freshman, and when you haven't played in that main rotation most of the year, it's still trying to find himself, but he's going to be a wonderful talent the next 3 years.
Nicholson's second free throw no good, so 1 minute and ticking here. Chibutaru into the corner for Stefanowicz, hand in his face. This 3's off. He's really struggled from beyond the arc tonight. Chaska will pull this one out and be just 45 seconds away from their second section semifinal appearance in a row.
Well, and so now Chaska will get the rematch with Eden Prairie, which, it was at Eden Prairie the last time. Those are 2 very similar teams where I think they can beat just about anybody, but on other nights they can get beat by anybody. Right. And so it'll be a really fantastic defensive matchup. I think it'll really come down to who's shooting outside ball better. Chaska really struggled the other night, and Spencer gets it, a huge game. But yeah, it'll be a great matchup, and 2 of the most respected coaches in the area, and Coach Coleman and Coach Flom will go at it again.
Yep. Eden Prairie beat Chaska earlier this year down the stretch of the regular season. It was actually the last game that Chaska played before this one. Once again, Chaska will go to Eden Prairie for a section tournament game.
I'll be there on Friday. It's going to be a 5 o'clock start.
I do not think I will.
And then I'll race back and help you out with the girls' game.
If you think you can make it.
Oh. I've got a Honda Civic, man.
Yeah, we will be doing, assuming the girls are able to win tonight.
I mean, look at 6:15. These games go by so quick.
I said that I didn't think the girls' game would start at 7, but I could not have been proved more wrong.
You remember this was like an hour game last time.
Right. 15 seconds ago, the Chaska faithful applaud the Hawks' effort. And Chaska takes down Minnetonka for the second time this season. Puts the Hawks in the section semifinal against Eden Prairie on Friday night at 5 o'clock over at Eden Prairie High School.
Yeah, hats off to Minnetonka. Like you said a couple minutes ago, they're a young team. They lose a couple seniors. Vince Brown, what a finish for him, finishing with a career high 13 points. But another guy we didn't see tonight was Will Coffin, and he had a big game the last time. And so Coach Tesdahl's got some pieces. He'll get the Elamine kid next year, and so They'll be in that top half next year, I believe.
Chaska will go to Eden Prairie, as we said, on Friday night. That is a 5 o'clock start, and that game will be broadcast by the Eden Prairie High School Athletics Department. Eric, it's been a pleasure. I'm sure we'll see you on Friday night. At least I hope we'll see you.
I'll be here, man.
On Friday night. For Brett Johnson, Mike York, Nicholas Paul, I'm Ryan Paul saying so long tonight from Chaska High School. The first of our 2 games is complete. Chaska and Jefferson girls basketball coming up here at 7 o'clock Central Time. Watch CHBN.com is where you can find that game. Hope you'll join us